the report cards have led to actionable change around the league, which is really why the owners hate it, right? That's why they're mad. It costs them money, right?
With Woody, what's the only thing worse than those terrible grades last year? People learning a year later, instead of pumping in resources to fix things and maybe getting a better report card the next year, you try to suppress the information. Imagine doing everything wrong all of the time.
You're right.
Hey, welcome to Heed the Call, an NFL podcast. I am Dan Hanzus, joined, as always, by the great Marc Sessler, Conor Orr, as well. Of course, Justin Graver on the ones and twos. We back. Just one show last week, but now we start to ramp things back up, Sessy, as we give you 2 shows this week. Next week, we're back to 3 as the Combine suddenly is upon us. And right behind that, the new league year and free agency. And right behind that, the NFL draft.
Yeah, like any concept by the listener that we were going to take a long sojourn into the wilderness. Not true. We're back in a big way. And it did strike me as we were off on our own little journeys last week that it's pretty clear I spend more time with the 3 of you than anyone else, because there was a massive void of conversation and feedback and everything in my life. It was just an emptiness.
I mean, the real, 2020s thing about that, too, is like we haven't been in the same room together for months either. So, like, is it even real conversation? I mean, these are conversations that you're having in modern times. I was speaking of the wilderness. I was up in Idaho, first time. Love going to a state for the first time. We got 50 of them here if you're not from the States. And Idaho was on the list. I went skiing for the first time in 15 years.
Oh.
On the plane ride from LA to Boise, I read Conor Conor, you're a wonderful man and a thoughtful guy, and we have a new tradition. You get me a book. And you sent it to me, and I'm sure you do it for many people, but I like to think you only do it for me. You sent me a book.
Well, I can confirm that it's not just you, but live in that world.
We'll take that out in post. So this thing that you do, unique to me, I started reading this book on the way up to Idaho, and it is steamy. And I'm just like, I can't wait. I'm going to share it with my wife, and I just want to say, like, last year you got me the Joe DiMaggio bio, which was brilliant. We're in a totally different stratosphere with this book, and I just want to thank you for that. It's a page turner, and like one of those, like, I hope nobody's reading over my shoulder.
Erotic in its nature.
It gets a little steamy, but you haven't finished it yet, right?
No, I am about a quarter through now. Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the wheelhouse. So you made it through the introductory period where it's like boring characters, and then you get to like the part where it's like, oh yeah, this is really hot, and then it eventually gets into the meat of the plot, and then it just slams you right into a brick wall ending that's just gonna have your jaw agape. And
should we share the book? Should we?
Yeah.
Is it like a Nias Nin or something? Like, I'm very curious as to where we're going here.
It's called The Winner by Teddy Wayne. One of my favorite super current contemporary modern pieces of fiction. It's so good.
Yeah, so I thank you for it. It's great. It's not like any book that I typically read, and it did lead to questions from my wife, like, wait, Conor got this book for you? Because I let her read one excerpt that was particularly steamy. In fact, the beginning of the book, it starts, there's a real mother and son dynamic to it. He's protecting her, he's financially supporting her, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna share this book with my mom. Sometimes I'll read a book and I'll be like, Mom, you'll like this, because she's a big reader. And then I got deeper in the book. I said, no, this one's not for Mom.
This is not on Mom's list.
I mean, in fairness, she's off watching Heated Rivalry. This is, Danny's got to have something for himself too.
Absolutely. And I thank you for that. And speaking of sexuality, how's your junk, Conor? Because another thing that happened last week is Conor did go through with the vasectomy, as I understand it. Ow.
Yeah, I was waiting for something from Justin's little pet keyboard there before I started talking. I'm fine. It was a great process. Kudos to Dr. Seaman, real name.
Unbelievable.
And it was funny. He came in.
The man who stole your semen.
Yeah,
Right.
he took it.
It's like someone being named like Coach Soccer, coaching a soccer team. Like
it's almost like his name. Every time he snips someone's nuts, like his name becomes more powerful. It's like one of those like those like sci-fi things where the alien has the tubes and he's sucking the brain power out of the universe, and it's all going into his brain, and it keeps swelling bigger and bigger. That's how I think Dr. Seaman is handling this and gaining power and strength.
Do you think that's why he became a vasectomy doctor, because of his name?
A urologist, Justin? Yeah.
Whatever they're called.
Well, it's a wonderful question, Justin, and it's on target.
That was a The Office reference / joke. Sorry.
Good cultural ref, Justin. All right, back to the conversation. But you're feeling good? Because I remember Mark and I think, we caught some serious strays from the listenership for not being sensitive to the process, or even questioning whether this is something a man should have a decision that he gets to make on his own. I'm not going back into those waters, Sestog.
Well, look, hold on. It's my body. I'll make the decision for myself.
Right. You can send your anger at Mark if he's going to stay dug in. I'm going to opt out. Like, I just don't have time for that in my life. But in this case, Conor, you made this decision for yourself, for your family, and we're very happy for you. And I hope you're fully recovered. In some ways, you'll never fully recover. But again, I'm not wading into this conversation because I've already learned people have very strong feelings about how, these decisions get made on the male side.
I completely missed the brushback from the listenership on this. I steadfastly, and Conor, it is your domain to do with as you wish, and to congregate with Dr. Seaman. But like, never in my life would I do this, because we don't know what will happen to our society. What if you need to be someone who can people a new wave of individuals? What if that were to come? Or even just by choice later in life? So it's like, who's coming
Mark,
at me?
You're never beaten the alien allegations like this.
Who is coming at me saying that they want me just to go do this out of pocket? Out of pocket, I have to go do it because someone else did it? Like, are you...
Out of pocket? I like how the financial side of it creeps into the conversation.
Well, no, just like with no internal desire, I must go follow in Conor's footsteps and have the same surgery done to me to comply with the wishes of our audience. I don't believe that's how this works. I see what we're going to be talking about
in the next episode if it came from the subreddit.
Well, we're very happy for you, Conor. We are.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's okay. And I would say that the only like bump in the road was he came in and he saw that I was wearing all my Grateful Dead stuff. And so he pops open a Bluetooth speaker and he throws on Touch of Grey and he's like, pretty cool, right? And
Basic.
I said, I don't want my favorite music associated with what's about to happen. So could you just like, could be Olive Branch?
Well, Dr. Seaman, he's like giddy because he knows that's all he's gonna get even more powerful with each procedure, and it's just like he can't even control himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Good guy though. Good guy. Great doc.
Go to Dr. Seaman in New Jersey. All right. Let's we've fallen behind on the news a little bit, so this is going to be a news show. Let's get into it.
Just casually with one hand on it there. I'm like, yo, I could kiss the wall right now. He's like, I'm like, he's looking at me. I was like, hey, what? I'm looking at the road. He's not looking at the road.
Okay, I understand the audio audience might be a little confused. But that was Los Angeles Rams superstar wide receiver Puka Nacua.
Holy God.
It's the offseason. He's enjoying himself as he has every right to. He's at some type of auto racing setup where I guess he was behind the wheel of a car. What he was saying, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Puka Nacua in general. I have a new follow. I don't know if I should be following because I think it might be similar to our friend in Israel. Who was that again?
Dove.
It's this account Polymarket Football that just tweets a lot of different like crazy shit, and I know I probably shouldn't be following it because it's like following Dove, But at the same time, I see this clip and I'm like, okay, that's good for the show. But the attached caption to this video is, should the NFL conduct a mental wellness check on Puka Nacua? He does seem nuts. Let me just say this. Everything I'm seeing about Puka Nacua, like off the field, brilliant player, obviously. But you are insane if you let him continue on with the Los Angeles Rams, as long as Matthew Stafford is the quarterback and playing at a high level. You will rue the day you give this man an extension. You trade this man for a first-round pick and let someone else inherit the Antonio Brown portion of his career. Just one man's opinion, but I feel 100% certain this to be true.
Well, is there a player that 6 months ago, in terms of off the field and demeanor, like Puka Nacua certainly felt a certain way to me? And after the 6 or 7 items and videos and drunken videos and bizarre videos that have come out in that time period since, I feel completely different about this guy.
I do wonder if you're the Rams, and I'm not really, I don't have a hard and fast opinion on it at the moment, but they've been able to find their archetype wide receiver twice now in the Les Snead era. And really, it's just like their best wide receivers are the best wide receivers because they block and they're involved in the blocking scheme, and that's how they get open. Could they just find another? Could he do it again without having to commit an incredible? What is a wide receiver APY now? Jamar Chase after his last contract, are we up at like what is it, like almost close to $40 million, right? I mean, that's what we're
like
going to have to commit to Puka Nacua.
Top 10 quarterback money, right? Like that's what a top wide receiver costs. Yeah, I think that's a great point. They're good at scouting and finding the right player, and not necessarily at the top of a draft class. And this is with all due respect to Justin Jefferson, who got caught in a bad situation this past season. But I think Puka Nacua right now is the best wide receiver in the NFL, pound for pound. And you can get a first-round pick for a wide receiver at that level. And I'm just very interested to see, because I think a lot of people think this is nonsense, this conversation we're having right now. But just hold on this and see what happens when Matthew Stafford is no longer in the picture and the Rams are looking at a scenario where they have to pay Puka like a quarterback and worry how he's going to handle a situation where maybe they have some bumps in the road at quarterback as they transition out of the Stafford period of their existence. It could be a big subplot down the line.
Yeah, but like 1 to 10, where is your genuine concern? Like, there's been some silly stuff, and I see what you're saying. Like, does it morph into something different? But it's none of it right now trails as something
Just
that you
hunch.
Would cut.
Just a hunch.
I don't think you're wrong, because I think it's like things seem like maybe not everyone adjusts to fame and money and everything else in LA the same way. But like, I'm not at the point where it's like we've got to get rid of this guy now.
No, I said as soon as Matthew Stafford is no longer playing at high level, we transition into the next phase of the Rams. Anyway, all right, the Dolphins. Dolphins are doing work, man. The Dolphins know they need to enter a new era with Jeff Hafley, and they are not wasting any time. So they get a bunch of guys off the books, or at least off the roster. They release defensive end Bradley Chubb, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, guard James Daniels, wideout Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, all done over the course of like 24 hours. So they start there, and the biggest name there, obviously, I would say, is Tyreek Hill. He's turning 32 in a couple of weeks. He's currently rehabbing his way back. He dislocated his knee and tore his ACL against the Jets last fall. So he's free to sign with any team he wants. He had a tweet, Connor, something about the cheetah is coming back and all this stuff. And it's interesting. We're coming off that Puka conversation, and now we're talking about Tyreek Hill, another fantastically talented wide receiver that could be mercurial and problematic off the field. And again, not to connect them to, because Tyreek Hill had way more serious stuff going on off the field than Puka Nacua. But you're now, if you go into the business of trying to get Tyreek Hill on a bounce back year, you inherit all the Tyreek stuff and what comes with a 32-year-old, very rich wide receiver who's expecting to be treated a certain way, even if he's not the same player he used to be.
And I think that it's tricky unless you're the Chiefs, right? You know how to deal with them. You know that you have Patrick Mahomes, and you know that Mahomes kind of trumps everyone, and you go into that understanding kind of the social pecking order of things. I think where it gets thorny, and remember the Jets were in on Tyreek at one point in time. Like if you're a team that's interested in starting over and kind of building a culture from the ground up, and you view him as a piece for like an ascending young player or like a second year or third year quarterback, I think that's when it starts to poison the well. And that's when I would say, I don't know, I'm getting 100,000 feet away from that.
And I mean, there's no guarantee that he's ready to play even in the first half of the season. So it really should be a landing spot or a fit that can A, culturally deal with him, and B, get him at the right time and not be out of the race at that point. It is wild to me quickly that like this is going to happen again with some player this offseason, but like the Dolphins gave up 5 draft picks, a first, a second, 2 fourths, and a 6 for Tyreek Hill. And ultimately, if you look at what it all turned into, nothingness. It just turned into nothing. So it's just kind of like, it was such an expensive deal. Who's the next on that? This is the perfect time to get Tyreek Hill if you're a team that can get him late in the year when he's healthy and can provide that X factor. And the Chiefs really fit. Chris Jones is asking for it too.
Yeah, I would think there's a number of teams where he would fit in that type of realm. The Chiefs are the most natural one, but I don't know, the Bills, insert
Patriots.
Contender here, Patriots,
Seahawks,
even the Seahawks. Yeah, any team that thinks they want an extra playmaker and feels like they could survive however long the rehab takes. I'll use an example as what the contract could look like when the Rams signed Odell Beckham. At that stage of his career is similar in his early 30s, coming off some injuries. You might be able to sign him at a lower contract, but with a bunch of incentives, and it's not going to be the massive deal that he got with the Dolphins, for example, Connor. So you kind of, I think you could hedge your bets a little bit with him, and maybe it pays off big as long as you don't worry about him going nuts.
Right. And yeah, I mean, as long as you give yourself the out and you give yourself, what was it, sort of the Jets Derek Mason deal, where like the minute this goes sideways or you annoy us even slightly, you're just totally locked out of the facility.
Yeah. Let's see. By the way, James Daniels, as we get closer to free agency, and in fact we are, as we tape this, just 20 days away from the opening of the legal tampering period. Do they still use that term? I don't know. Negotiating window, whatever they call it. James Daniels, the guard, signed a 3-year, $24 million contract last offseason. He played 3 snaps. Bradley Chubb, who enters the free agency market, he's 2 years removed from the ACL patella tendon meniscus tear in December 23. And so keep an eye on that. Another veteran coming off a serious injury. And finally, Jordan Schultz on Tua. Dolphins would prefer to find a trade partner for Tua. A cut is possible in the end, but that has been their preference. Schultz's understanding is the new regime doesn't want it to drag on too long. Connor, is there any way Tua gets moved in a trade?
No. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to drive, a Lexus minivan instead of a TNC, but that's just not going to happen. It's not in our cards. It's over $100 million in dead cap at this point, and he's only in year 2 of a massive contract extension. So yeah, this thing isn't going anywhere. They're going to have to either just lock him out of the facility and hope he doesn't show up, or release him and swallow the money, which, like, if you're any of these guys, is that what you want to do? I mean, you're essentially going to gum up your roster for 2 years to try to get him off the books. So I don't know. This is a little bit of a disaster.
We did the tiers, Mark, for head coach hires. And I think I was kind with Halfley and stuck him in the C tier, but God, is anybody in a tougher situation than this guy? Because you could look at this, and we'll see what happens with free agency and how they spend, but they're going to be hemmed in, of course, by the Tua situation and how they draft. But is this team going into a full-on tank in 26? And is that you hire a head coach and you stick him with that situation? Why not just keep McDaniel and then make a decision of kick the can down the road with a new head coach, or keep McDaniel if he proves something to you in a terrible situation? I don't know.
Well, maybe McDaniel, though, in a world where you've got a new front office set up, wouldn't want to have Tyreek Hill off his roster, or even maybe in some world.
He can't decide that, right?
Well, but the relationship ends because that's what makes the season very uncomfortable. I would like this. I like what the Dolphins are doing right now because they're being extremely decisive. They've chopped $56 million off their cap. They feel to me like a tank candidate, especially if they find a way just to not play Tua, which is the answer there, and quietly come in fourth in the AFC East and be in good position for one of the quarterbacks in next year's draft.
Can't
And you
give out
told Jeff
lollipops
Hafley.
yet. I got to see I can't give out the lollipops until we see how they spend in free agency.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
but I think you tell Jeff Hafley, like, who's telling him this, but from
Sure.
ownership on down, like, this is a mulligan for Jeff Hafley this season in terms of what they perform, how they perform.
You just hope that they mean it this time and not like when they said it to Brian Flores when they secretly tried to replace him with Tom Brady and Sean Payton while he was tanking.
Right, on yachts, multiple yachts.
And the other crazy thing about these head coaches, they all are signing 5-year guaranteed deals. Right? Are these fully guaranteed, or is there offset money? Well, and it just seems
there
so.
Could be offset money.
How did that happen? How did they get to the point like where these teams that really view all these new head coaches as 2-year propositions, especially the newer guys, and they all get more than double that, and it's like, good job by the agents, but it seems completely out of sync with how the actual cycle works, where we're firing a quarter of these guys every year, and sometimes more, like this year. They better be patient with Jeff Hafley for multiple reasons, including the pocketbook.
Well, then you got like a Jets team or a Browns team that's paying 7 different head coaching regimes.
Yeah, I think it's the only reason Aaron Glenn's is still head coach of the Jets. I think
It
Woody
is.
would have fired him if it wasn't 5 years. I think did you report that, Connor, or was that just some things you had heard?
I think that was very much a part of the conversation this offseason because Glenn rode in on the kind of that D'Amico Ryans high when, it's 10 plus million, 5+ years on those contracts. And it's a lot of money to pay out for doing nothing.
Speaking of the Jets and Woody Johnson, finally a W for Gang Green. The NFL wins its grievance against the union regarding the report cards. I'm annoyed about this because this was nice little off-season content for us. Dig through those report cards, trash all the bad teams, really have some fun. And they're not allowed. They're effectively banned now. The union is no longer allowed to publish future player report cards, according to a memo distributed to all 32 NFL teams on Friday morning. The Players Association, however, said it will continue to collect the report card responses, but it just can't make them. It can't make them public. And yes, Woody Johnson, who was very butthurt, the Jets got an awful evaluation last year. I think they graded out as an F for numerous categories. And Woody, in his way, reportedly spearheaded the effort to get this thing out of the public ledger. This is interesting, Connor. Reports indicated that 11 teams were involved in the complaints. Woody was a spearhead in the effort. And also, some of it's like the Three Stooges of the NFL ownership group. I don't know how your boy Haslam's not in this group, but Woody Johnson, Michael Bidwill, David Tepper mentioned in the context of this ruling. I wonder why.
Well, so here's the thing. 2 things. One, they're going to come out anyway because when you have a document that you're not allowed to make public, what do? You leak it to like someone like me, right? That's my job. And
get it to Conor Orr
for all of these
si.com. Go ahead.
For all of these players, especially football players who have been using the NFLPA to push us out of locker rooms, maybe we think twice about that. We can help you for certain things like this. Like the report cards have led to actionable change around the league, which is really why the owners hate it, right? They've had to redo locker rooms and training rooms. They've had to hire better chefs. They've had to do things. They've had to pay, which like a lot of teams do. They've had to upgrade facilities for friends and family, for the way that, your family gets to come to training camp practices, all that stuff. That's why they're mad. It costs them money, right? And the way that they're able to do that is through public embarrassment. And the vehicle via the public embarrassment is us. And so, maybe don't kick us out of the fucking locker rooms.
There you go.
Like we're here to help.
Pay attention.
Damn it.
And more than 80% of the players responded, which is more than ever. These things usually come out during the combine, which is helpful information for pending free agents to say, Well, this team, I've got two teams I'm thinking about. This team gets an A and B in these categories. Then you got the Bengals, who are getting an F for treating the families of players poorly, right? Or the Jets owner getting the worst grade among any owner. And like, you go to a Barnes & Noble and there's these ridiculous books I wouldn't read about like CEO X writes on leadership. Here's how to be a leader. And like, you'd think that these guys, these masters of the universe types, right, would actually in a better world applaud and kind of embrace the challenge of doing better and being called out and say like, let's fix this. And it's the complete opposite. It's a terrible look for the NFL that these 32 owners, and it's not all of them equally, but that they completely reject the concept of critique and accountability in the public eye.
Also, it's so stupid, right? Because they Streisand affect themselves all the time. And I think this is sort of the norm, like politically right now, where it's like you're banning something or you're getting a host thrown off television and it just makes them more beloved and popular. Yep. By banning the report cards, you're only increasing the attention around the report cards. Like speaking of Barnes & Noble, every time I go in there now to buy a copy of SI, there is a banned book section. It's the most popular section of the store because they're banning them everywhere. You know what I mean? Like
that's where you got Dan's book for him, from what I'm understanding.
Me out.
And it's like, with Woody, what's the only thing worse than those terrible grades last year? People learning a year later, instead of pumping in resources to fix things and maybe getting a better report card the next year, you try to suppress the information. Imagine doing everything wrong all of the time.
You're right.
And somehow being a billionaire. He wasn't even born on third base. This man was born on home plate, went nowhere, thought he hit the home run.
Yeah,
okay.
The old Al Gore treatment.
Hey, if not for Al Gore, we wouldn't be doing the show right now. On the internet, Marc Sessler.
Big
Gore
ups, Al Gore.
invented the net. What?
The information superhighway.
All right, let's take a break and we'll continue on. Becoming a parent has a way of shifting everything. You stop living just in the moment and start picturing the future. First days of school, big dreams, and all the little moments in between. For me, taking care of my family also meant preparing for the what-ifs. Even the ones no one really wants to think about. That's why I chose life insurance through Ethos.
Absolutely. What impressed me right away was how easy it was. Ethos lets you handle everything online, from getting a quote in seconds to completing an application in about 10 minutes. Some people even get covered the very same day. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few health questions, and that's it. Coverage can go up to $3 million with plans starting around $30 a month, Dan.
Yep, and we're not the only ones who trust them. Ethos has earned a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot from over 3,000 reviews. Plus, as of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. Protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your free quote in minutes at ethos.com/HTC. That's ethos.com/HTC. Ethos.com/HTC. Application times and rates may vary.
And Darnold will take the snap from his 23. Patriots with a blitz. Pressure. Throw to the left. Incomplete. Searching for Jackson Smith and Jigba with Durden and Spillane in his face.
If you get middle pressure to this guy at his feet, he's going to give you. He's looking to throw. He wants to get rid of it. They didn't even turn. Jennings looks and undercuts this. It's a pick six. You can have 2 pick sixes already in this game. Hit him high and hit him early.
Oh, baby. Oh, the gift that keeps on giving. Super Bowl 60. I don't know who this person is, but on YouTube, I got to give this guy a shout out because he deserves it. Someone decided, Mark, a very important thing to do was to make a super cut of Scott Zolak, like losing it, across the 4 quarters of Super Bowl 60. And I'll tell you what, my birthday's in a couple of months. It actually falls on night 1 of the draft, which is obviously going to curtail any family or friends activities. But this is an early birthday gift. I sent this is let's see, Red Tribe Cinema put it together. This is an 11-minute video. I sent Justin a series of clips to pull, just to luxuriate in the Zolak of it all. So let's listen to some more.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, right now, neither quarterback is vying for the MVP at this stage of the game. 4 of 12 is this guy. You cannot lose a Super Bowl to this guy.
As Cesar Romero said in the original Batman series. Ooh, delicious!
Oh, how delicious it is!
A common thread in this reel with Zolak is, and maybe, and I understand, like, what a low-hanging fruit thing for the old Zeuser, who's so pathetic with his horrible Jets team that this counts as joy.
Yes,
but
that all checks out.
And part of it, Mark, that brings me joy, and I feel like you'd feel the same if it was at the Browns, is in a way, this Sam Darnold game, losing to Darnold, is in this twisted way in the mind of the sentient Powerade bottle, like the Jets quarterback getting over on the Patriots after they had already thought they put him under the ground. So in a weird way, in just a slight way, Connor, the Jets won the Super Bowl against not the Patriots, but Scott Zolak.
Yeah, you're certainly making the case for that.
How about this? Now he's starting to lose grip a little bit. Now he's starting to get nervous, but he also feels like it's still right there. It's still right there. The Patriots can take their place atop NFL Mountain once more.
You got to wake up on the sideline on offense. You're a play away from taking control of this game. Seriously.
I think when you label him as sentient, it's a bit of a stretch. You feel like he's waking up to the reality of what is occurring here in his life.
Here's again, he can't deal with the fact that Sam Darnold is about to put the Patriots in the ground in the Super Bowl after a Darnold incompletion that was, I believe, nearly a pick.
Darnold pressure. Darnold moves up, slings it to the near side behind Walker. He tried to throw it on the move. And that pass behind the intended receiver with Robert Spillane closing, maybe thinking about a pick.
I've seen
down the right
enough.
sideline.
I've seen enough. This guy's junk.
How about Justin, the clip when he throws it slightly behind JSN near the half and Christian Gonzalez almost gets the pick at 6-0.
God bless you, Mike. God bless McDonald on this. I mean, the skinny's there. He had him. Just a crap throw.
That throws further to the inside. It's a touchdown for Seattle.
I mean, they're going to eat him alive in the second half. You
Now
just
it's
gotta
16
score.
seconds.
This is bad.
What? Detached from reality.
Delicious. All right, I'm going to pause. I have some more, but we'll save it for the end of the show. We're just halfway through, Sessler.
Wait, we're having
Part
a second
2 of Zolak
Heavens to
Meltdowns
Betsy.
coming up on our show later.
Our show, which essentially doubles as like a Dan Fantasyland that tickles somewhere within.
Why can't you just give me this, Mark? Do you understand what I just went through in an NFL season? Just let me have this.
Are you not having it? You're having it.
You have to let me, though. Just don't.
I don't press the buttons. I just sit here and look into the camera. So everything's fine.
Beautifully. You look beautiful and when you look in that camera. All right, we'll come back to it, though. It sounds like you want us to come back to it. So,
I mean, I don't know what the purpose of the rest of the show will be until then. I cannot wait.
Sound off in the live stream if you don't want us to come back to it. Let's head to old quarterback corner. Remember Derek Carr? Like, who remembers Derek Carr?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. I always liked Derek Carr. I always thought he was a little better than he got credit for. One of those guys that was, in fact, both old quarterbacks are about to talk about, I always thought kind of were lightning rods when they weren't necessarily the problems for their middling teams for most of their careers. Derek Carr obviously had those years with the Raiders, went on to play for the Saints. It didn't go very well. He's in retirement. But Carr was on, he does a podcast with his brother called Homegrown. We used to work with his brother.
We did.
David Carr, nice guy, good guy. Maybe we should get David on the show if he's available.
Good draft guy, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he said he'd only retire, Derek Carr, to play for a Super Bowl contender. Let's check this out.
Would I do it? Yes, obviously. Would I do it for anybody? Absolutely not.
Nope, there's no way. I know.
I told you two things. I'd have to be healthy, and I would want a chance to win a Super Bowl.
That's two pretty good factors.
And obviously, that's a tough thing to find. That's hard to do. That's not easy.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, I know you're healthy.
David, I have to point out, Connor, that Derek Carr looks like he's about 140 pounds. I mean, in good shape, but it doesn't look like he's in NFL shape right now.
David Carr looks like the Terminator. Holy God.
The best looking guy that ever worked in NFL Network while we were there. I always thought that he looks carved out of stone, has since he was a player.
Well,
Yeah,
David Ely also, but sure.
Shout out Dave Ely, for those who know.
they're sitting a little too close together for my liking. Like the table space between them, like it's a little more romantic than I feel like it needs to be.
I mean, they're brothers.
Yeah, but look at that. Like they're just, that's a
Do you
lot
have a
of
brother, Connor?
No, I don't. But that's like, it's just too close. They're just too close on the table. Like their clipboards are touching.
I get that. It's a little anxiety raising to see them. Their knees are probably touching.
Yeah, like I look at the way he's sitting to try to relieve the lack of space between the two of them.
If I did a podcast with Kevin Danger Hanzus, which would probably be an amazing podcast, I would love a setup like this, nice and intimate. There's no feelings of romantic
You want your
entanglement.
quads smashing into each other?
I want kneecap, smoking kneecap.
All right.
I don't think we're suggesting that the two brothers have a romantic connection.
No,
It's
just
I thought that's how we
proximity.
set up the conversation just now.
Well, we'd correct that. That's not. I don't think that's where we're going with that. But
let me get us out of this. I think it's interesting that.
Do you want it like COVID lockdown? Do we want like plexiglass and masks? Like how do you want to
Another
set up
foot.
the Derek
Just
David
another
Carr
foot.
podcast?
yeah, like
another foot.
Yeah, 6 inches even. I find it funny that Derek Carr, like, I guess it's this scenario that he's envisioning where he, like, a Super Bowl team needs him in some way, shape, or form. Like, how is that's the part of the fantasy that is interesting to me. Like, a team is capable of winning the Super Bowl if only they had Derek Carr somehow. And what team would that be?
It's a little bit. I think he's a little disconnected from what his value is on the market. As crazy as it sounds, like for my team, and remember the Summit, New Jersey Italian restaurant, Connor, that the Jets took Derek Carr to before they ultimately pivoted to, I don't know who it was, Brett Favre, maybe. No, not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, who knows? But I wouldn't hate that. I feel like it would be an upgrade on Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor if we're just trying to get through a year. But at the same time, like, he's been out of the league for at least, was it 2 years or one?
One. It would go horribly wrong. You don't put him on.
Just like a low guarantee contract on a short term just to get you through a season. If you don't, but if he thinks there's a contender out there. Like who's the Minnesota Vikings? I guess would be a team that I think of, like that he would probably say I would love to play for that team and play for that coach. But
you know where he fits. You know where he weirdly fits is it's not a Super Bowl team. But if you wanted to log tape and be a starter, like I would put him on the Raiders and then ease in Mendoza, not in week one. And he has spoken very highly of the Raiders, despite the way that all went down. It's a different regime. I don't know.
There's two amazing things about this. The first is that Tom Brady has said over and over again, the reason that he became Tom Brady is because of Drew Bledsoe. It sounds like they're laying the groundwork for a bridge starter there, but it would also pair Derek Carr with Tom Brady. And if you remember correctly, when Tom Brady was on that show, The Shop, Derek Carr was that motherfucker, the one that a team was interested in him until the last minute and pulled out. And he said, "You're going to ditch me for that motherfucker." It was Derek Carr. So wouldn't that be great if they got together?
It would be great. I also like the idea. I also like the idea. What's that, Justin?
Not to mention Clint Kubiak was his OC his last year in New Orleans, and that was the best that Carr's looked in quite some time. So there's so many connections here. It actually does make a lot of sense.
I think the move here is for I think everyone's right on this. I think the Raiders sign Derek Carr and take best player available with the first pick in the draft.
Oh, you're
go get a linebacker, go get a defensive end.
You're not taking linebacker with the number one pick.
What's that?
Dan's trying to manifest Mendoza.
Yeah,
to the
I think
Jets.
that's the right move is for them set up quarterback with Derek and just go get Arvell Reese
for your own interest. For your own interest.
This is just analysis. That's all this is.
We are dipping again into pure fantastical regions that are Jets adjacent.
No, I'm talking Raiders. I don't know. I don't even know who's picking number 2. I have no idea. I'm just saying, like, best available and move forward with Derek Carr.
You said linebacker.
Got some good ones. Justin, there's some good linebackers in this class, if I'm not mistaken.
You named two Ohio State guys, Arvell Reese, who might be an edge rusher. Sonny Styles is like a top 10 pick worthy linebacker. I don't know if he'll go that high, but they are guys.
Mark, 3 letters. BPA. Best player available.
Yes, sir.
And I resent the implication, sir. All right. Other old quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins. There he is. He possesses a lot. Kirk is an interesting figure. Well, he's not interesting, but he's kind of fun to talk about. He possesses a level of self-awareness that I admire. I look at him and I say, he knows. He said he was on the Kevin Sheehan show, DC Sports Podcast, and he says he knows why he's one of the more polarizing QBs of his era. And here's his take on that.
Yeah, I think there were a few variables that were kind of all coming together. While we had success, it wasn't 15-2, it wasn't 14-3. It wasn't so much success that I'm holding up a Lombardi and there's really no room left to criticize. I think if you go 9-8, 9-7, you're still giving yourself that room to be criticized some.
Okay, that's fair. Is there anything left? Kirk Cousins? Do you have any interest in Kirk Cousins, Mark?
I think the one thing about being paired with Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, it's a good fit for Kirk Cousins. It may be if he were younger and more spry, it could be a better fit than Michael Penix, but I'd stay put if possible and see what happens there. You've got Michael Penix coming off of surgery.
I totally agree. I think everybody's kind of airmailing him already to Minnesota, to go back to Minnesota and to challenge 9 for the starting job there. But the Falcons have enough cap space. I think when they release Kirk Cousins, they can just basically re-sign him again to what Cousins wants, which is like a fully guaranteed $15 to $20 million deal. I mean, that's kind of what he does, and he doesn't have to move, and he can work with Kevin again. I mean, I think that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that Atlanta literally doesn't have another option. I mean, Michael Penix got hurt in November? I mean, and it was his third ACL injury.
Right? Over on NFL Reddit, someone put together a compilation of all of Michael Penix's throws over 20 air yards. And I thought of it, Mark, when you said airmail, because it was pretty ghastly. And then he blows out his knee. So yeah, I think the Falcons need some Penix insurance here on multiple levels. And it's also a reminder, but not a harbinger of doom, Justin, but a reminder that Cam Ward has inherited the scepter of the second-year passer that everyone just assumes will make the leap in the upcoming season. It didn't happen with Penix, and the Falcons really would be very wise to cover themselves there. He's also not the guy. He wasn't drafted by the people that are running the team anymore either. So you just wonder, is he in the future at all for that team now? It happens quick. All right, I guess I buttoned that one up. So let's move on. Jamar Chase.
I think we felt that you buttoned that appropriately. So
yeah.
How's your Penix, Connor?
I could have used Penix insurance before I went to Dr. Seaman. Yeah.
Jamar Chase is being open about the Bengals and their offseason expectations. He had a quote in the past week. Everybody pretty much knows what we need. He spoke with Russell Heltman on a wide range of topics. And I guess, Connor, I'll ask you, as someone who covers the league at large, how does Cincinnati get out of this mess they've been in, the soup they've been in for the past several years, beyond just Joe Burrow playing 17 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's annoying to me is like there are fan bases that act aggrieved. There are players that act aggrieved. And like, what is the franchise not giving the Bengals? I mean, they signed Jamar Chase to the largest receiver contract in NFL history. T. Higgins to the largest number 2 wide receiver contract in NFL history. Joe Burrow to the biggest quarterback contract at the time in NFL history. They built an indoor practice facility. They added more scouts to the scouting department. Like, they're literally falling over themselves to maximize this team. And the players are just like, well, we need more. It's like, no, you guys need to play better. And your coaches need to coach better. And your quarterback needs to stay healthy. Like, I don't understand what else there is missing in this equation.
What I would do tactically, because I agree with you, and it's a lot of there's a lot of verbalization coming from the quarterback too down the stretch of the season where it's like these quotes he's making are a little unnecessary. We get that things are a bit of a mess. We don't need Burrow to go off verbally, but you've got the 10th overall pick. You've got, I think, 8 draft picks in this draft. If I were building the team on like Madden, I just go all defense. Like they just completely inject this defense with like almost what the Seahawks did over the last couple of years, which was smartly pick defensive players left and right and shore up that side of the ball. That's been the problem. Like, I mean, and you've got $50 million in cap space going into free agency. Like that, address that and maximize this quarterback and offense before it all floats away.
Yeah.
Stay right here. We'll take a break, and when we get back, we finish out this rundown. Everyone wants their money to do more, but without the stress, the jargon, or the confusion. That's why TELUS feels refreshing.
Yeah, TELUS started out as a property management app, helping owners and managers collect rent, communicate with tenants, and stay organized. But now TELUS goes beyond that, helping everyday people grow their money.
Yes, Mark, TELUS is reimagining how everyday people can grow by offering a high-yield savings wallet powered by real estate. The app includes a digital wallet designed to help your money go to work for you while keeping everything simple and transparent.
Exactly, Dan. You can move funds in and out easily, track your daily growth clearly, and access your money whenever you need it.
And the best part? There are no processing fees, no locked up funds, and no fees to open or use TELUS. You can also earn better rates by building positive habits like learning through TELUS daily trivia or simply setting goals for yourself.
Learn more at TELUSapp.com or just search TELUS, TELLUS, in the Apple App Store or Android Store. TELUS. Earn more daily.
TELUS is not a bank. TELUS is not FDIC insured.
He's hit. The ball's loose. And the Seahawks recovered. Another sack of May. Fifth of the game. And the Seahawks, Byron Murphy, has the takeaway. Seahawks gain possession inside New England's 40.
Absolute ass kicking right here. Defensive ass kicking on an offense where that has really no answer for you for what they do.
Ooh, baby. Hope fading for the Zolak late in the third.
I thought of you because I saw him at the Super Bowl. And
is he wearing the shades?
Me and Breer, I can't remember. Me and Bert were going to the NFL Experience to buy our kids like teddy bears or something like that. And it was like a long walk, and you had to go through all these security lines. And then when you get there, they tell you it doesn't open until 3, and it's like 11:25. And Zolak was just blasting out of the doors, and he's like, "Oh, this place isn't open." But he's just like he's like a professional wrestler that's always in character, and it was so good to see him. Just 10 out of 10.
I want to give him a little pop here. Because the next clip I'm going to play, remember when the streaker ran out onto the
field? Did a
so
nice
good.
job until he was floored.
We should talk about that a little bit because the streaker, who, by the way, in the old days, you say streaker, I better see some nudity, right? Now
Sure.
we're just taking our shirt off and it's a streaker, not a streaker. I mean, we're such a puritanical society overrun by just like religious fanatics that that's a streaker now? We took off our T-shirt.
I don't know if the streaker community holds those views, but you'd say in action, you're right. They seem more puritanical.
But I absolutely love that the streaker had an accomplice. I don't know if you saw it because he wore those Ray-Bans that have the camera in them. So his accomplice hops the fence, the wall or whatever. And by the way, getting down there couldn't have been easy. And just getting in the building had to be enormously expensive. I don't know. I don't even want to know the backstory. Maybe he got sponsored by some gambling hut or something. But so he has a guy that jumps. And I don't know if he was purely a diversion or it was like we're both going to jump and one of us is going to make it. That's probably what happened. But it worked perfectly. They both jump. One guy gets tackled by 2 guards immediately. Second guy and the guy wearing the glasses breaks through. And go find it online if you want to see what it looks like. So good strat. To streak or just get on the field, Ceci, in the Super Bowl, absolutely should have been shown on TV.
Yeah,
it was an accomplishment.
It's a wonderful example of creating diversion, and it's a reminder that if you yourself wanted to attempt this, that you do the thing, you pair up, and when you are dealing with most of these security guards down on the field, their assumption is that they're going to go the entire game without having to deal with anything. So when suddenly you've got two running individuals, as they did, I thought it was wonderfully done. And it's kind of like when, you're in Dealey Plaza and the umbrella man opens the umbrella the minute that Kennedy is taken out to show him that the soft on communism umbrella campaign of the Kennedy White House is one of the reasons he was taken down. It's the last thing he saw before he went out. Diversion, cops everywhere. No one knows what's going on. Did I explain that clearly?
No, not to me. Just a lone gunman up on the 6th floor of the book depository. That's all that's my feeling on it.
The other thing about the security guards too is it's not like, no offense to any of them, but I mean, Ray Lewis isn't down there. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like when, in 2020, when you're sitting there and you're like, wait, like, how secure is like our election system? Like if you really push it and you really stress it as far as it can go. And I wonder if the NFL is like, how like safe really is the field at the Super Bowl? If you think about it, like this isn't exactly, SEAL Team 6 down there,
Yeah, that's fair. And here is Zolak, to his credit, not taking the typical announcer route, as you don't expect him to, with said quasi-streaker.
Okay.
Not a streaker. Used to be a great country.
Here we go.
About what transpired.
We got a streaker.
And now the fan has run out of the field.
Touchdown.
With Kyle Williams, the Patriots rookie receiver, going after him.
Kyle.
He cuts him off, and then the security personnel
let the beat down the
pile on.
Kyle Williams almost, it was funny because
almost, yep.
When you get angry, and you could tell, I mean, the Patriots are just getting their asses kicked at that point. And the way that you saw Kyle Williams move at that guy, you were like, he's about to just free the beast on this dude and let out some much needed frustration.
Yeah, he pulls up at the last second.
I love that part best with the streakers, when finally the player gets to said bean and just rocks them to the turf. Like there's the old, I believe it was a Browns Steelers game where like a fan ran out there and got just pile driven into the frozen turf. I think that's.
I mean, the
just
streaker,
desserts.
The quasi streaker nailed it on every level, because he also, when you watch any of the footage, but especially his camera footage, who was the wide receiver recently retired? Was it Tyler Lockett, who was like famous for sliding down to avoid contact, never took a hit? I think it was Lockett. Like he would catch a slant or catch any type of like medium to downfield pass, and he would always just slide down. Probably saved his brain and extended his career, even if it didn't look overly macho. And I hope it was Tyler Lockett. Does that ring a bell for anyone? Because I don't want to be assigning to the wrong
Justin
person.
Is nodding
Justin's
correct.
Nodding. No one else has ever heard of this or seen this. Okay. Thank you, guys.
We're letting him have his moment.
Yes. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will if I'm thinking of the wrong person. But even this guy slides down before he could take the punishing hit. And he actually, because it catches on the mic for the glasses he's wearing, he goes, "You got me. All right." He does the slide down.
You guys got me.
Just expertly done. Good job, Zolak. One more Zolak. Again, I'm going to give him credit here. I don't want to be overly negative on the Sentient Powerade bottle. He has a great take. They're playing Sweet Caroline at the end of the game. If you're from New England or you've lived in New England, Sweet Caroline is a song that gets played at every Red Sox game, but it doesn't hit the same when the Red Sox are losing, and a lot of people don't think it should be playing when they're losing. And so they're playing this as the Patriots are getting stomped, and here's Zolak's commentary on it.
So this is what that's what you're going to do. This is what Red Sox do. When you get your ass kicked, play it at the end of the game. Be better.
Be better.
My daughter's getting married next summer. This is banned from the wedding playlist. We're not. I mean, I'm paying. It ain't getting in there. It ain't got a shot. I don't care
Can
how
you
much the
imagine
wedding
him as a
party wants it.
father-in-law? That would be a trip.
He won me over a little bit with that.
Dan, I want to give you a compliment on this this project that you've put into the episode. Like you and these last two entries,
Project.
These last two entries, I think you were very fair and balanced on the moments that Zolak had that were slightly positive.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you.
Well,
what? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, it was deserved.
Don't need it, but I appreciate it. Let's throw it to a Myles Garrett. Mark, you set this one up. You added it to the rundown.
Yes. So Myles Garrett, if you've been watching the Olympics, and I know Connor, as you mentioned, he's been a big curling fan, but Olympic snowboarder Chloe Kim is the girlfriend of Myles Garrett. And he's been over there overseas in Italy, watching her succeed. And on Valentine's Day, if we can take a look at this, if you're watching on YouTube, gave her, I don't like this. I'm going to tell you, I don't like this. He gave her a car for Valentine's Day. This is a classic. It's a rich person's movie. He's very much in love, clearly. That's all nice. But like, I mean, I don't want this information getting out to anyone's girlfriend that someone just received a pink car compared to whatever you gave someone for Valentine's Day. You're going to look like you gave less no matter what, or if you did anything for Valentine's Day.
He's also wearing a sweatshirt that says, "I love my super hot, beautiful girlfriend."
He is
so
very
please stay
in
away
love.
from me.
He is very in love.
Well, that we calm down with the sweatshirt, though. Okay.
I'm bothered for a very different reason than you are, and that is that NFL players just have this ability to suck the attention away from anything else in the room like a dying sun. And it's just like your significant other gets one day every 4 years where the national conversation is centered around your sport, and you're like, da 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 da, NFL, look at me, I do something important too. And it's like, no, man, like, just, you know, you have like a giant telephoto lens camera, and it's like, oh, I'm interested in photography too. And it's like, no, just let her fucking snowboard. Like, just give her 2 minutes, and then you could do whatever you want, you know?
I totally agree, you know? The Browns, you know?
Give me a break. It is very Myles Garrett to make it clear to us that he's got side hobbies like poetry and photography, and he's a well put together Renaissance man.
Like when we started at NFL Media, we were blogging. Like, is he the new Arian Foster of the NFL? He's like, please, I want you to know how deep and varied I am.
I think that Foster is in a bit of a different space where he, at a certain time in our culture where NFL players were learning how to use social media to become much more on our radar than we want them to be, I thought Arian Foster leaned into that hardcore. Garrett, is he that annoying as a personality? I don't think so.
No.
Sorry, Mark. I don't think so. I don't think he's annoying.
Well, you just told the Browns to F off or whatever you came out of your mouth about a minute ago.
Is what I'm saying makes sense, though? Like,
yes.
Even,
no,
like,
you absolutely nailed it. It's true. Just get out of the way. Give this woman her moment, because snowboarding, unless it's like ESPN 6, is not going to be, you know, it's not going to be on NBC anytime soon. You know what I mean?
By the way, like, just as an aside, like, so I got heavy into curling, like we said, because it's a sport of honor. Mark and I were talking about this earlier. So when there's a dispute, you just have to hash it out with the people there. There's no, like, nobody's going to come and stop.
Bunch of people bitching at each other.
No official.
Great.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got deep into like ice dance. And then there's like documentary on Netflix about the people who are in ice dance. Holy shit. Like, this is, like, I don't know. There's another life for me out there covering these sports.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing makes more sense to me than Conor really digging in on the granular details of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, it's the whole Orr
Not
family
even the Summer
too,
Olympics,
right?
like specifically the Winter Olympics really connecting with Conor. In fact, if I know my Conor, he might have a totally 180 take on the Summer Olympics. Seeing it as, vacuous and not worthy of the coverage it gets. But the Winter Olympics, which is kind of lower in the pecking order, is this wonderful, beautiful thing. And the idea of the curling, which I watched a bit of this weekend, which is just an insane sport, by the way, to try to figure out in real time.
Yeah.
And do that test, which I think everybody should do. When you're having a conversation with somebody, like I said, I was up in Idaho hanging out with our friends and staying at their parents' beautiful house in the mountains, and we're watching curling, and we're having a couple cold ones. Nobody knows what's going on, but we don't look it up on our phones. We just try to figure it out. And just think, when you're having a conversation, and there's like you're trying to think of like who was that closer of the Chicago Cubs in 1997? and you're both right there and you can't quite get it, don't look it up. Just let it hang out there, and maybe it comes back to you, and maybe it doesn't. But watching curling and trying to figure out what the fuck it means that somebody has the hammer, and why? So there are 9 of these innings. Why isn't the hammer going back and forth? Like, what are they trying to get in on the Olympics logo or in the green? Like what's going on? I love that. I love just trying to figure something out that is almost impossible to figure out.
Yeah, I'd Google it.
No, I'm with you. I think what I think is funnier and more amazing, right? And especially if you have a good announcer like Lee Diffie, like the British guy. And
the Diff Master, yeah.
There was like the women's biathlon the other day where this Italian lady on skis just comes from 5th place and like knocks over 5 targets. And they're like, unbelievable. And you're just sitting there like, yeah, what the f***? All right, this is great. I don't know, man. Everyone talks about getting a vasectomy during the Masters, but getting a vasectomy during the Winter Olympics is wired,
Smart.
man. Like, my God, it was like 24-hour programming. I didn't have to leave the couch.
I mean, the other, like, Connor, you did mention that over text. And, like, I just did the thing where it's like, I'd Google it trying to, like, counter Dan, but then, like, Connor's like, I agree with you 100%. And I want to, like, but it's like, you also could watch the Olympics 24/7 and not get a vasectomy. Just throwing that out there. That is another option. I've watched plenty of Olympics without anyone sticking a sharp object into my scrotum.
I knew you were going to catch a stray when Mark didn't get an agreement.
I guess the question is that the only way that you're allowed to watch the Olympics that much? Like, was it because you were felled and injured?
Two sides of a coin, Mark. It doesn't, like, nobody has to be a winner. Like,
I'm just
I didn't
asking,
win
why
because
would
Connor
you
agreed with me? Like, it was just Connor did agree. It doesn't go anywhere beyond that.
You do recognize that I was simply opting for wordplay there, saying I would just Google it. I also like to mentally solve problems without jumping on the internet, like with a friend in a snowy environment like Idaho with a cold one in the hand or whatever.
So why did you say that?
I don't know, because it's just the way the show works. So,
just to tie this up, like, again, not knowing what's going on is sometimes fun. I watched Best in Show, the Christopher Guest film, for the first time on Thursday before I got on the plane, or Wednesday night. And really enjoyed it. I was looking for a movie how about 90-minute movies? How about we make more of those?
Now we agree.
As a perfect 90-minute movie. Disagree with Mark, quick on her. And and I wish, like, I would love, as I'm looking to, have different revenues of income in my life, to be like the Fred Willard, the Buck Laughlin. So pair me at the Winter Olympics with like an Englishman that knows everything about curling, and then I'm just totally clueless, trying to offer anything and just constantly being just like corrected or ignored. I want to be in a Buck Laughlin role at the Winter Olympics in 2030.
I will say this: if you run afoul of fans of those sports, like we think, and we get annoyed about every time that we say something and people respond, do you even watch football? Right. But like, if you up like figure skating and you read the YouTube comments on an announcer that even has a totally meaningless mistake on a figure skating thing, those people are like doxing your address and looking to kill, like, and not with a gun, like with a knife. It's insane.
An intimate crime.
Yeah. So just be careful. Yeah.
The victim must know the perp.
I'm just saying, just be careful, because you're not really going to be able to have a lot of fun with it.
Stay away from discussing or commenting on speed skating or ice sports.
Yeah.
Ice dance, baby.
All right. That's that. That's it. By the way, on Wednesday, we're going to open up the mailbag. I know Justin already sent out the prompt out there. So if you want to just reply to that, and we'll all retweet it from our various social handles. So we'll hit a little news on Wednesday or early Thursday. The show will go up, and we will dig into the mailbag and interface with the listeners. Mark, final words.
Yeah, I like to interface. I like some boundaries around that.
Sure.
And I don't want Dr. Seaman coming to my apartment or my abode ever.
That's your choice. That's your choice.
I'll leave it right there. It is my body, my choice.
Right. And no one should judge you for that. But again, I'm not getting into this cultural morass around a man's choice with a vasectomy anymore.
Well, we're thrilled for Conor. I'm not sure why, but we are.
He's done. He's out.
I mean, I did my job societally. I mean, three is enough for
Absolutely.
and three of me is enough for everybody.
And does the 2016 TNC even have room for another? I mean, we're just talking in terms of
that's the deciding factor.
That flying death box. Could it even seat another child? You know what I mean? Like, so maybe it's just from purely functionality in terms of your household, and this had to happen.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
We could do one more, but I don't. I think that would be the end of me. So,
are those seats in the back of that TNC even locked in, or they just slide around as you make turns and everything? Didn't get high marks in that consumer survey. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that. We've played that enough times here that I think about it every time it slides in the snow or whatever. Yeah.
119 models have records of much worse than average reliability. And we're talking dynasty when it comes to the Chrysler Town & Country, 2013 through 2016. And Conor, he purchases, what year is it, Conor, your model?
16.
The Dynasty Edition.
What was Chrysler? What were they doing during that period? Just
it's a transmission issue. It's easily fixed. I already talked to a mechanic about it. Let's
Whenever the transmission is acting up, it's what you want to hear as you're rolling down Garden State Parkway at 80 miles.
Nobody in this quad box in front of me could even point to me and tell me where the transmission is on an automobile.
Right next to the carburetor, bro. Right next to it, and the tubes. The gas tubes.
The gas tubes. Is that a thing?
Do you know?
and don't suggest the problem is easily solved. That does nothing for the segment.
All right. Mark's still living with that Google comment. You gotta love it.
No, I am genuinely annoyed.
All right, one more Zolak, and then we say goodbye till Thursday.
It's been a tough game. This sucks. Hey, this is bad. But team is relevant again. See you next year.
See you next year.
Oh.
See you Thursday.
Sad.
Need the call.